oppose us.
Running binaric override.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. We are the things. I'm afraid.
So we can turn off this stuff. That's
Kill!
God.
Fight!
That's not good.
I bring mirth and retribution.
Oh,
Here we go.
so stupid. Get like shield. Like, up.
Hold on.
Why, it's not anymore.
Hold the formation.
I have the feeling his
Understood.
Don't leave us. That's an order.
am I down? I am down.
I'll do it. Faith without deed, none can escape the Emperor's judgment.
My vow is to serve.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak.
Advancing. Beyond the truth. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Let's get
Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, I don't need to kill everyone.
I have read tomes of military tactics. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Really?
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
here we
Don't know what to do.
I mean, the range on this is quite nice.
Mark the target. The order best.
Was
Hold on.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. As the Emperor indicated. I'll do it.
let's do this.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Oh,
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Request approved. Running binaric override. I venerate you, machine spirit.
okay.
Let's make it quick.
Problem is, like, the guys are so far down.
Let's get out of my
And these fucking enemies.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
Come on.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Request function successfully terminated.
That, oh my fucking goodness. Oh my god.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may.
Here we
Your misery.
I'm not gonna lie, this is not looking good.
I'll take it as priority. Accepted. Understood. The order is eliminated. Hold on. Let's make it quick.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
Oh, I just made him.
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Running by miracle.
What was this? Oh, I fucking spawned away. Oh my god.
Let's get you. Out of my
Layer everything that enemies usually have onto one person.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Oh my god, you can't see from there. This is stupid. Oh my god, you can't see any.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
moving into position.
Can't even see anymore.
One of us would be enough. Glato, we're undertaking this task.
Full?
Let's get to it.
Here we go.
Power resides in the will of the righteous. As the Emperor commands you, my Emperor! Doubt is for the weak, is why I was weak. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay.
Activate calculated fury algorithm.
Yep. Nice.
Running that is an equation.
Nice.
Your life is a negligible variable.
Hold on.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
This doesn't work. Okay, how about you guys come on?
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Nope.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Another color has faded.
Fuck. Yeah.
We've got a job to do, Glato. I'll take it as priority.
Oh my god. This for real.
Our duty is not over yet, Glato.
I'm here! Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
That was kind of like the worst.
God Emperor, move through me. Fire in my heart. Doubt.
Beautiful.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Exactly what we wanted.
Request of desire condemns
Yep.
you.
Beautiful.
The scriptural prognosis is
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Too far
Let's
away.
make it quick.
If I may,
Do it. Let's test our skills, Glato.
Show me what you've got. Guided by faith. I'll do none can escape the Emperor's judgment. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
as the tactical imperative dictates. Functions successfully terminated.
Alright, so you defeated the captain of the Heartless, you boarded the Heartless without destroying any of its compartments. Nice. I suggest we return to the flagship and debrief. I want to have a look around first, actually. Active shield. Just gonna go. One of those.
Know your duty. Operation successful.
Captains are gonna stash away something of value. The stash is located in the Tenebrous Aqua system. I haven't been there yet. But good to know. Yeah, this fight was actually quite difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Always triggers a psychic phenomena. Why? That's really bad.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
My warp sight reveals something.
Very exciting. Oh, Chukari. What is this? It's like movement of Zagona's fleet. Okay.
The Divine watches over us. My success is an irrefutable certainty.
He was bartering human captives for Xeno attack. Oh, well.
Ready for data input. The Emperor protects.
My goodness.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Okay. Congratulations on the mission. Extend my thanks for your cooperation. You and Glater would have managed without my help. Actually, I do believe the dog could have captured the ship all its own. So we received that ship. Does that mean we have a second ship when we do a space battle? Digital battery, fireproof plating. The heretics were keeping something of rare value in the hold. Large supply of provisions, weapons, and Xeno. All it requires is some light repair work. What would you have us do with it? We could present it to our trading partners. Alternatively, we could transfer some of your subjects to the Heartless and use it to increase trade between your own worlds. Have the Heartless repaired, of course. Profit factor lost 5. We are back. Okay, so we have to make a decision. Either we can use this the Heartless as we lost 5 profit factor, which is quite a lot, to be honest. Anyway, we can use it as an escort or serve as a trade vessel. I had a quick look. I couldn't find much around the second one. It seems it just buffs some of the stats from the colony, so I would have chosen the first one anyway. So we go with I wish to see the Heartless as my escort. Once it's cleansed and restored to its proper state, have it protect the flagship. Awesome. So going forward, it will basically, when we have a fight in space, it will protect us. I will be joining your personal security detail, at least until we arrive on Dargonis to meet with the Marshal. Assisting the Adeptus Arbites is the duty of every subject of the Imperium. I will take you to Dargonis as soon as circumstances permit. Awesome. Let's see, I haven't talked to
Lord
these guys
Captain.
for a while.
Lord...
To what do I owe this visit?
Nothing to talk anyway. Just having a look if I missed anything, basically.
Lord Captain, your
Are you ready to
presence
tell me more
is
about
welcome.
yourself now?
And if such is the rogue trader's wish, although there isn't much I can tell, I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to know?
Where do you hail from?
Now that I can tell you. I come from everywhere and nowhere. I am the child of officers of the Imperial Guard. I was born in the hold of a warship, grew up following my parents' deployments from one planet to another, and lost my family in the flames of a righteous war. My memory is like wafts of smoke over a still battlefield. The grey of a ship's plating, the strict cadence of life in military camps. My mother's uniform, I loved looking at it. Then, that battle, the rumbling, the shouting, and the soot, the screams of soldiers burning alive, and the gold of the regiment's Aquila, untouched by soot or blood. The last unsullied piece of a world that was going mad. That was my last memory of my mother, and of my former life, before the Schola Progenium and the novitiate, before my trials, before the vows.
So how did you become one of the Adeptus Sororitas?
Become. It's such a strange word for it. It seems right, but is that how one talks about their destiny? If you're asking about the path itself, that's easy enough to answer. First, like many other orphans, I endured the Schola Progenium. Those years were rough, but I remember the hardship fondly. Few things can compare with the feeling of satisfaction from a past trial, even if it leaves your body aching from exhaustion, or your soul wincing in pain. I was one of the best among my peers, and I was selected for the novitiate in the ranks of the Adeptus Sororitas. When the hour came, I passed the trials and took my vows. The most joyous day of my life. The Emperor's light has always been with me, but to accept it with all your heart, to utter the oaths, that is a rapture like no other.
Have you ever wished for a different lot in life?
Have I ever... But that would be shameful weakness, almost heresy. Of course not. I was born for this. I live by the Emperor's will, and in his light, I myself am the light. I must be the light. For myself, and for those who ask for my protection. I was chosen to serve. But beyond that, I won't deny it. Few things elate me as much as the thought that the heretic felled by my shot will never again orphan a child.
That golden shard you carry with you.
My own relic. It's the regiment's Aquila. Or rather, the fragment that survived the attack, the explosions, and the fire. For me, it's a reminder that purity and radiance can be preserved, even in the heart of darkness.
Thank you for your candor.
It is my pleasure to be candid.
I would like to discuss Salus Prime and the relic that you want to find.
Of course, my mission is all I can think about.
Remind me, what is our mission?
To find the way to the planet called Salus Prime. Saint Argenta is my patroness, and that is where her fallen ship is. And it must also be the resting place of her great relic, the One Star.
What is the One Star?
If I only knew. Neither the hagiography nor the legends give a straight answer. Classical iconographers believed that the star turned into a banner woven from silver thread, which, when brought onto the battlefield, would shed light that blinded only heretics, but did no harm to the faithful. Most of them portrayed Saint Argenta as a girl carrying this banner. Others think that upon falling from the sky, the One Star became a holy chainsword, which Argenta later used to strike down monsters and enemies of the Imperium. In some of the earlier engravings, Argenta is depicted wearing power armor with a silver star on her chest. One theological theory suggests that this armor was, in fact, the relic. Some even think that the One Star is actually the ship on which Argenta traveled. I feel that my undertaking will be fulfilled when I find the answer that has eluded the Ecclesiarchy for millennia. I pray we find the way to Salus Prime soon. The ruinous powers must be aligned against us. They stand in the way of faith.
Tell me about Saint Argenta, whose relic you're searching for.
Gladly. Listen. Long ago, there was a blessed world. Thousands of stars covered the sky there, so bright that its denizens hardly knew the darkness of night. Thousands of rivers nurtured the soil. Thousands of gardens bloomed every spring, and at every moment, thousands of prayers were flying into the clear air, thanking and praising the Emperor. But one day, the people learned the meaning of darkness. Like a storm, accursed heretics who had sold themselves to the archenemy descended upon the planet. Shells flew from the sky that desolated whole cities and burned the gardens and filled the riverbeds with the blood of the faithful. Smoke and soot swallowed the skies and the 1,000 stars that had once shone over the world. Among the handful of survivors was one orphan who had watched all her family die and the garden she'd grown up in burn to ash. But in her heart, she knew the absolute truth. Just these 3 words. The Emperor protects. And knowing that, she never looked away from the black, terrifying, smoke-covered sky. There were no more bright stars to be seen, except the One Star. The bright star, the silver star shone in the sky. And when the orphan smiled at it, the One Star fell right into her hands. All the faithful in every corner of the continent who saw the trail of the falling star recognized it as an omen and went looking for the place where it landed. And they rallied together. And with the light of the One Star, they found their salvation.
The girl from the story, that was Saint Argenta?
Yes, that was the beginning of her hagiography. It is known that she lived on a world where heretics staged a terrible insurrection. They wiped out all life on the planet, except those whom Saint Argenta managed to save with the One Star, and with the strength of her faith. After that, she traveled between worlds gripped by turmoil on her ship, marked with a silver star, and brought hope to the faithful. Numerous accounts confirm this. Her coming helped people turn the tide of the war and wipe away corruption before the Imperium's main forces even arrived. Millions of people owed their lives to her, but the heretics, having realized their imminent defeat, sent the remnants of their forces after the ship with the Silver Star. It fell from the skies onto an obscure world. There are no definitive records of how old Argenta was at the time. In some chronicles, she's even called the Child Saint, but their credibility is questionable. Either way, she didn't live long, but she left a bright trail in her wake, like a falling star. One day we will reach Salad.
Okay.
Words can... Jai is like a... The esteemed Magos Haneman is... Shakubella is... Master Anthar is enveloped in dense... I have...
Greetings, Rogue Trader. I would like to report that Glato and I have finished our initial inspection of the upper decks. The list of infractions ended up being 5 pages shorter than expected. I'm beginning to worry that a servant of the Lex might have little to occupy himself with aboard your ship.
Am I imagining it, or do you seem relaxed?
I doubt such a word could ever be accurately used to describe an arbitrator, but there is some truth to your observation. Since we're not in combat, I permit myself to stand at ease, which is to say, I'm standing by on full alert.
Make the hand signal for understood. Tell me about the Adeptus Arbitus.
We are servants of the God Emperor's law, made manifest in the Lex Imperialis. The Adeptus Arbites uphold order on the scale of the Imperium and bring merciless punishment to offenders.
What types of crimes do you usually handle?
The most significant ones. Beyond the Expanse, the Arbites not only enforce tithe collection, but also ensure that every planet obeys his law and that the Imperium's authority remains unchallenged. Corrupt governors, crime syndicates, rebels. Not a minute goes by without some parasite trying to take a bite out of the Imperium. We destroy any who dare trespass against the law.
So if you see someone trying to murder an innocent man whose life is irrelevant to maintaining order in the Imperium, you simply walk on by?
Unless said man's innocence has been previously established, such as during an investigation. In any other scenario, murder is just a common disturbance. My intervention is only required in the case of an attack on an administratum functionary or some other important figure. Then I must take measures. However, if I have an assignment to carry out, I will ignore any distracting factors. The duties of the Arbites are above everyday crime. We collect the tithe that feeds the military might of the Imperium and sustains its authority over many worlds. To be bogged down in trivialities is to commit a criminal waste of time and resources that have been granted to us to serve the absolute of the law.
Well, Rykard Menoris did fall on your watch.
Your suggestion that I could have prevented the disappearance of a star sounds almost flattering. And yet, I never dodge responsibility. Let the Emperor, in the hour of his final judgment, determine the measure of my guilt in what happened.
What about witches and arch-enemy cults?
Those are indeed the greatest threat to the Imperium, and I never leave a heretic I meet without a bullet lodged inside him. But such matters are primarily handled by other forces, which are influential enough so as not to be mentioned out loud without a reason. I am at your disposal.
Just how far do the powers of the Adeptus Arbitus extend?
As you saw for yourself on Rykard Minoris, quite far. The Arbites passed the sentence and carried it out summarily. Only the highest echelons of Terra and servants of the Inquisition and rogue traders here in the Expanse can expect the privilege of a trial. Planetary governors, nobility, clergy, to an arbitrator, they are all equal before the law.
Sounds exactly like Judge Dredd. Let us talk about Lex Imperialis. I'm curious to know how you interpret its essence.
Testing me, are you? That is fine by me. The Lex Imperialis is both a code of law and the word of the God Emperor himself. For millennia, his decrees have been amassed and preserved on Holy Terra, in the Hall of Judgment, alongside the High Lord's orders. It is at once a titanic collection of edicts and a holy text.
Thank you, Julia, but not interested at the moment. My partner is working on that for me. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. But every word still has its own laws.
It does. Your capital world operates under the Lex Dargonus, formed over many generations of the Von Valancius line. However, the Lex Imperialis is the final word in every debate. It stands above any legal directives a planet may have, for it comes from the Emperor himself.
It sounds as if it is impossible to know the Lex Imperialis in its entirety.
It would take longer than a lifetime to read through even a fraction of his law. But there are fundamental, integral prescripts that every arbitrator knows verbatim. These are the Injuncta Cardinal, inscribed on the walls of the Arbites precinct fortresses and etched into our ammo casings. We quote them as the indisputable truth and recite them like psalms as we charge into battle.
There's reverence in your words that feels almost religious.
As it should. The codes of the Lex Imperialis are my prayer, and I believe that every arbitrator's service is sacred, for it brings this imperfect reality closer to that inscribed in the Book of Judgment, closer to the God Emperor's will. I'm listening.
What is the mission of the Adeptus Arbitis in the Coronis Expanse?
To collect and guard the tithe. That does not mean we ignore other violations of the Lex Imperialis. We simply act within the scope of our limited resources, the first of which being our small numbers. Here in the Expanse, many believe themselves to be too far from the civilized parts of the Imperium to have need of the law. The presence of the Adeptus Arbites helps to remind those people that the Lex Imperialis is in effect wherever there is at least one human being.
I wish to know more about you.
You prefer to have a better understanding of the people you travel with. That makes sense. Ask.
Where are you from?
Port Wander in Calixis. The gateway to the Expanse, a monumental station, always covered in ships and bursting at the seams from all the dealers, pilgrims, mercenaries, and criminals. Compared to Port Wander, Footfall is just a lifeless rock in the void.
Where in the Coronis Expanse were you living prior to coming aboard my ship?
On Dargonus, Lady Theodora gave the top level of one of the spires over to the Arbites. A noble house used to occupy it, before it decided to stick its hand into the dynasty's coffers. By offering us such prominent lodgings, your predecessor both reinforced her ties to the Arbites and made an unambiguous gesture toward the nobility. She was a shrewd woman and unforgiving.
How did you find Dargonus?
I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised. I'd expected something far less civilized, given that the Coronis Expanse is on the outskirts of the Imperium. Instead, Dargonus may even compare to some Calixian worlds in status and stability.